Hello and welcome to the Nerdiest Podcast, the podcast where nerds talk about nerdy things. On this episode, I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Jackson Class. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm very good. How are you?
You know, I'm hanging in there. I'm trying. It's been a day. I, spent the last 2 weeks moving into my apartment and putting together IKEA furniture, which every time I get IKEA furniture, I'm like, oh, this is so simple and easy to put together. It's going to be a breeze. No. IKEA is just like Legos, except at least with Legos, they give you colored instructions so you know what pieces you're looking for. Whereas IKEA is like, yes, black and white, figure it out. You're smart. IKEA frequently overestimates how smart the average person is. Mm-hmm. Myself included. It took me 2.5 hours to put together a couch.
Oh.
It's not.
That's IKEA for you.
Yeah, it's a pain.
This week, I'm gonna be honest, I feel a little swamped. Feel like I'm a little too busy. I've been a bit of a night owl this week, and so I've had less sleep than normal on top of work for both podcasts that I have, and then Instagram content for both of them, and then, YouTube content, and then my actual job. Between all this, I'm a little swamped. I barely had time to finish the series we're talking about today. I finished it last night.
That's kind of cringe. So today we're talking about Star Wars Visions, which is interesting because I didn't think we were going to make a whole episode about it. I thought it was going to be a passing comment in a different episode, but it was so freaking good. We had to make a whole episode.
Here we are.
And also,
here we are.
I expressed some serious concerns back in December at the Disney Plus day or whatever when they announced it, and I was like, I don't know if I trust Disney or Star Wars to handle anime. But we will get into that. Because
we'll get into it.
It turned out pretty good. So, what are your general thoughts on Star Wars Visions as a whole?
So before we get in, I'd like to say that you can follow on Instagram at the Nerdiest Podcast and Twitter at Nerdiest Podcast. I have to say that
followers on Twitter.
Yeah. So if you're on Instagram or Twitter, go follow us there. We always release stuff about new episodes coming and new episodes that already passed, clips and memes and whatnot. It's a lot of fun. We're trying to build a good community on both of those. So go follow. All right, now that that's out of the way. So this is coming from someone whose entire anime experience is from Sonic X. Now, that is a good show.
And Weathering with You.
No, I watched Weathering with You. Literally every anime that I've watched that is not Sonic X, I've watched for this podcast, including Visions. But I was pleasantly surprised because I was thinking, I'll just have to binge Visions and then we can finish, we can do the podcast episode. But no, I actually found myself strongly engaging in these episodes, and I feel like, I don't know, some of these stories, these episodes are a max of 23 minutes long. That is the longest one there is. That's standard length for a normal episode of of other shows. These 15-minute episodes crammed in more story than the entirety of the sequel trilogy of Star Wars. Is that a hot take? I don't know. So
it may be a hot take, but it's a good hot take.
I don't know. I think giving other people their interpretations of Star Wars was a really great idea, because Disney realized people don't like what they're doing with Star Wars. And so it's kind of you were concerned for anime Star Wars, but Disney wasn't handling it. They outsourced this and said, hey, these studios, these creators, come work with this incredible universe we're working on. Now, it's not canon, but I enjoyed it more because it's not canon, the way that it was just this is just a fun thing. It doesn't have to all tie in together the way Marvel's doing. So, pleasantly surprised. I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
Dang. I think for me, as someone who's deeply engrossed in anime. You know, you can't see it in here, but I've got like a huge My Hero Academia poster. I've rambled on about how much I love anime. So for me, I was really worried about this series, and then they announced the studio lineup, which the only two studios out of this lineup that I knew ahead of time was Studio Trigger and Science Seiru. Both are great studios, by the way, and I will say my enjoyment of the Studio Trigger episodes was dramatically increased by the fact that I watched 3 of their anime this year. Oh. So I was kind of already familiar with the director and all that, which when we get to episode 3, which is the Trigger episode, I'm going to send you a screenshot of one of the characters from one of their other anime, and I'm going to have you tell me that does not look exactly like the brother.
We'll post it on the story. Too.
So, yeah, I was really worried about it, that it was just going to be like sequel trilogy, you know, fan service, like, oh, here's what Luke Skywalker would look like if Star Wars was an anime. And it wasn't. It was all super original. Every single episode felt different, but they didn't feel so different that it was like watching a completely different show every single time. Like, they were close enough that they weren't bad. And another thing is, like, and I saw this take on Twitter, and I really agree, is Star Wars Visions takes the spirit of what is Star Wars and turns that into... It's not worried about, okay, we need to make a ton of money off of merchandising. We need to make a ton of money off of, you know, fans coming to see the movie. Like, they just said, anime studios, you have the license to do Star Wars how you want to do Star Wars. And they went for it. And it totally worked. And not gonna lie, aside from like my favorites, which we'll get to, I think most, if not all of these shorts could hold up as an entire anime. I mean, some more so than others, but there's definitely potential for multiple different Star Wars anime shows just out of Star Wars Visions. And go ahead.
Some were more open-ended than others. Some could go straight off of the episode that they were put in this first season of Visions. Some could just be like, hey, that was the pilot. Some would be like more of a pitch. So like the second Tatooine Rhapsody, I don't think that would work as a pilot. I think it could work as a pitch and say, these are the characters, these are the situations they're in. We could create a series off of that. But a lot of these could be either. And I really hope they get like 2 or 3 seasons out of this.
Yeah, I would be remiss if Disney didn't greenlight a season 2 or do something else with this. Although, knowing Disney, it'll be a one and done type thing. Like, they'll be like, we did it once. We satisfied the anime fans. Never gonna touch it again.
All right, this is what pisses me off. Because they're like, we don't know yet. We don't know if there's season 2 of Visions. I think it's rumored, but like every show that ever comes out gets a rumored season 2. But then like What If was going for 2 episodes and they're like, yeah, we're having at least 2 seasons. Like, what?
Exactly.
I don't understand.
And I think part of it comes down to like, why does What If get a confirmed season 2? Probably because they already have those episodes planned out. I guarantee you half of What If Season 2 is just going to be follow-ups to the episodes from the first season, but that's for the What If episode. So there's like safety there, which, by the way, Star Wars Visions, from what I've seen, it is incredibly hit or miss. Like, you either love it or you hate it, and there is no in between. Because I'm in a group chat with some other Star Wars fans, and half of them were like, this is the worst, I can't stand this. And then me and the other half were like, no, this is great. Like, all of these are bangers. Like, so, and from what I've seen, all of the critics and stuff, like, everyone who's reviewed it has given it positive reviews. People who don't like it are the vocal minority, not the vocal majority. So hopefully Disney sees that and says, okay, you know what? Sure. Let's do a season 2 because there is potential here. Or let's take the Twins and turn it into a show, or the Village Bride and turn it into a show. Like, so my very long general thoughts. That is those are my general thoughts on Star Wars Visions. Yes.
Yeah. No, I think I think that Star Wars Visions isn't for everyone, but it's also the same way that WandaVision wasn't for everyone. The same way that, the prequel trilogy... I just smacked my microphone. It's the same way that the prequel trilogy isn't for everyone. The same way that, like, people can have favorites and opinions and disagreements. Not everyone is going to enjoy the Clone Wars or Rebels or, like, just animated Star Wars in general. Not everyone is going to love it. My frustration is I'm frustrated when people have their opinion and then present it as fact and say Star Wars Visions is bad. It's like, well, all right, hold on. Maybe you're just not in, like, the anime circle, and you just don't I don't want to say you don't get it, because that sounds mean, but, like, you're not, that's not for you. So I'm also hoping that enough people say vocally that it's for them, that Disney does more, because this was really good, and I'd watch all this stuff in theaters, legit.
Yeah, and another thing that because obviously, I have to go tell Megan about it, because it's like, what else am I going to do? And I think what I realized is Star Wars Visions is not, it is anime, but it's not the same over-the-type anime. Like Tatooine Rhapsody, not the same kind of anime that is like the, like, mainstream anime like My Hero Academia and Attack on Titan and, like, all of these big, super violent. Tatooine Rhapsody is not. The Village Bride really is not. Like, there are episodes in here, like TOB1, totally not over the top action at all until the end, and even then it's for like 2 minutes out of the 15. So for someone like Megan who doesn't like the super over the top action, there are episodes here that are for you. And then for people like me who love the action, there are a majority of the episodes, but they're still there. So they did a really nice job of balancing and not just being like, all right, it's lightsabers fighting all the time and it's only lightsabers fighting because anime is fighting. It really, and it's really only anime in the sense that it was made in Japan and it has the anime art style. That's really all that defines it as anime. And that's really mostly all that defines anime in general. Is like, so
I think it was it was like a little bit of a bridge for like, people that might want to get into anime, but like don't really know where to start. But like, hey, I like Star Wars, this is here, and vice versa. People that want to get into Star Wars, but don't really know where to start. And so it's like these worlds collide. And so, of course, there's mixed emotions, but, like, when they collided really well. So,
yeah.
Beautiful.
Now, with that being said, let's talk about specific episodes. We're just going to go down the list, all 9 of them, give our thoughts, and move on to the next one.
Can we say our favorites and least favorites first?
Oh, yeah, we probably should.
You go first. Assuming you know.
You go first? Okay. So I'm gonna do my top 3 because I would be remiss if I didn't do my top 3. So from 3 to 1, number 3 is the Lope and Ocho episode. Fantastic. I loved that one.
The bunny girl. I'm a fan.
Number 2. Listen, I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save that thought till I get to it. Number 2, the twins. Studio Trigger anime. Always great. Loved it. And then, of course, number 1 for me, The Village Bride. I can't stop thinking about that episode. It was so, like... It was so
I knew
good.
you would
and
like
also,
that.
The Masked Woman, I need more of her content. She's got a yellow katana lightsaber and freaking, like, jet heels. I need more of this. Like...
What a girl boss.
Disney. Lucasfilm. Come on. Village Bride anime,
The Village Bride had like almost a little bit of a Zelda vibe to me, where it was just like just the setting and like the character design. That's a good one. All right, I'll give my top 3 and then we can talk about our bottom 3. Top 3. Number 3 is the twins. The twins are so good. I feel like that was the most well directed. It was really interesting how the entire thing was on the concept of double. So it was directed with double hallways, double Star Destroyers, double characters, double ships, everything was doubled. And I thought that was a really creative decision that I haven't seen in a lot of stuff. Number 2 is the... Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you gotta rewatch it. My number 2 would be the Lupin Ocho. That's my white people pronunciation of it. It was really good in the story and in the character design. And if I could choose one to have a full series, I would choose this one, because I feel like it got deep enough in the characters, and it was just like this I was heartbroken by the end, where I feel like I can spoil it.
Oh no, if you're listening to this,
yeah,
we're getting an episode, so you can talk spoilers.
Yeah, no, I'll spoil it. Where she stabs her sister and gets off the Star Destroyer, but then she's alive, and that final scene where it was the droid playing the video, it was we could find with some time we could be a perfect family, and then it ends, and I was just starstruck. I was holy cow. That was just very powerful. I feel that's the only way I can describe it. It was really powerfully written and directed. My number 1 would be...
I know exactly which one this is.
You know exactly what it was because we watched it together, and I was freaking out the entire time. Was the 6th episode, TQB1, with that little robot guy and the professor with platform shoes.
The platform shoes.
I was crying in this episode. The robot was so cute. All right, the professor was so cool. All of the droids were awesome. The art style was just beautiful. The soundtrack gave me a Mario Galaxy vibe. And then it was so it almost watched a short film where it was beginning to end, and it was you can imagine what he did after that, but it's not it needs more explanation. I thought it was just my mom makes fun of me for saying this. It was a storytelling masterpiece. That's what I say.
Cinematic
It was a storytelling cinematic masterpiece. Those are my top 3. I would watch entire series of any of those, but I think Lupin Ocho would be the best if it was a whole season. There we go.
So, for worst, least favorite, I literally just looked at the list. I cannot pick 3. I cannot. I only have one that I did not like. And it was the very last one, Akakiri. I did not like that one. And let me tell you why. Because I liked the concept. Because he was almost like a cowboy Jedi. That was the aesthetic he gave me. But it felt like it was, and I said this on Twitter because I reviewed all of them on Twitter as I went. This one felt like it was 14 minutes of a movie cut out and presented as a short episode. Because there's context at the beginning that's lacking. There's context at the end that's lacking. And I saw where they were going at the end, where the evil Sith was join me and we can save her, and it's oh, that's the Anakin and Palpatine thing, and then he goes on to be evil, and it's a whole thing. So I saw where they were going with that, but I feel it wasn't as conclusive as I wanted it to be, because oh, he's just evil now, that's it. And it didn't even really show, because the description,
we just kind of have to assume he was evil.
Right. And the description on Disney Plus is a Jedi returns to his forbidden love. There was nothing between those two that told me that they were in love at all. And I was
Wait, they were supposed to be in love?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's not presented that way at all until the very end, where he's oh no, she's dead. But then it's well, you accidentally killed her. So it just seemed like there was a lot of context missing for it to work.
Yep.
And it just didn't hit for me. If I had to pick a second least favorite, it would be TOB1. But that's just because it didn't appeal to me. And I will say, watching it the second time, I came around to it a little more. not gonna lie, the first time I watched it, I was on a high with the first 5 episodes that were all fantastic, and then I got to that one, I was like half asleep because I had gotten up super early to watch it, and I was like falling asleep, and I was like, oh, this ain't that good, and I fell asleep.
Yeah,
and then I went back and I watched it, so
it's okay. I can pick 3, honestly.
I do want to ask, because I know we haven't brought this up yet. Did you watch it in English or in Japanese? Because I watched it in Japanese. And Disney Plus, I want to talk to you directly for 1 second here. Your subtitles suck. Because you offered this in original Japanese, and you made like a whole marketing point about how you could watch it in English or Japanese. And all you give us is closed captions, which are white. And half of your backgrounds for every single one of these episodes is a light color. I couldn't read the subtitles for half the episode. And what's even more frustrating is for the like extras behind the scenes, they put real subtitles on it. They put like genuine subtitles that had little black borders, because when I watch anime subbed, they do words, but they put like the little black outline. So if it goes on a dark background, you can still see it. And they just didn't do that for the episodes. But then for the behind the scenes, they were like, yes, black backgrounds. And it was really frustrating because I felt like I was missing something. And I didn't necessarily want to watch it in English. Not going to lie. I watched my favorites in English. They weren't as bad. But I will say I did end up preferring the Japanese over the English.
So here's what's funny. I watched it all in English, and only for the reason that I did not know that you could watch it in Japanese. Now, I also watched all of these at like 10 p.m. and really didn't feel like reading. I'm sure the voice acting is better in Japanese, and I might go back and watch my favorites in the original, because that's like, air quote, how it was intended to be watched. But like,
it's true.
I still got a great experience from the English, and I might go back and listen and watch my favorites in Japanese. Now, I actually can give a bottom 3.
Oh boy.
So, my third least favorite was number 7, The Elder. Now, this one I felt was just a little boring. I didn't really care about the characters. I thought that it was very quick of like, we just go in and then they did their mission and then they left. And that was the whole story. So the combat was really cool. I liked that, but I just couldn't engage with it. So that's my third least favorite. Now, when I say least favorite, they're still all watchable. Like, least favorite doesn't mean bad. It's just wasn't my favorite. Second least favorite was the first one, The Duel. It was a little artsy, and I could not see what was happening because it was so dark.
When we get to that episode, I need to talk about that.
Yeah, no, I could not see what was happening, and it like I was a little nervous for the rest of the series because I was like, oh gosh, is this what we're gonna? Is this what we're doing? Like, I had no idea what was going on, but it was good after that. My least favorite, I have to agree, was the last one. Like, part of it was I watched it last night at like 11 p.m. and I was falling asleep, and I was like, I just can't engage with this. But it was also falling asleep during Lapin Ocho, and I was like tunnel visioned in. So I don't know. I agree what you said. There was no context, and it was needed. That's what I'll say. I didn't get it. But I think all of them are watchable, and they're all extremely enjoyable, except that last one. I just didn't. My least favorites just weren't for me.
Fair.
Boom.
All right. So, break them down one by one, starting with The Duel. I just want to say,
The Duel.
I liked it. I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. Why did I take away 0.5 points? Because you're right. It was really dark. And not in like tonally dark. No, visually dark. Like,
yeah.
My problem was, and I think they really tried to go for the super artistic and like, oh, let's do all black and white, like, you know, Japanese samurai, like that whole aesthetic, and I like it. Also, spinny umbrella lightsaber, kind of dope.
That's pretty dope. Coming to a galaxy's edge near you.
coming to a galaxy's edge near you, saw off your little brother's face with the new Galaxy's Edge Savi's Workshop umbrella lightsaber. So
now with real lightsabers.
It was nice, but one of my biggest gripes was like I couldn't see the detail on the character's face except for when the lightsabers were present, adding extra light. There were a ton of scenes where like they had damage on the side of their face, but I couldn't see it because it was all black and white. There was no color to help distinguish the character designs. It was a cool idea, and I think the story was pretty dope. But that was that one thing that I didn't like about it.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. It was a great idea, and it looked good. And it was like the cool, like sketchy lines were really sweet. I struggled. I can't engage with a story that I can't see.
Facts.
Yeah. So that's what I think of the first episode. I also ate a lot of hummus while I was watching the first episode. You can do that. You can do nothing with that information. I just thought I'd give it.
It's a very okay. Moving on, episode 2, Tatooine Rhapsody. It was good. I actually liked this one, and it's interesting because I don't usually like insert songs in anime when they like insert music that's not like soundtrack. But I think this one worked. I liked the story. It was kind of dope. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is the only episode to feature already existing Star Wars characters that aren't like stormtroopers, because it had Boba Fett and Jabba
I think
the
you're
Hutt.
right. I think you're right.
Every other one had brand new characters that we'd never seen before, which it works. It works. The setting worked. Like
it was fine. It was
they made it work. It wasn't like here's Boba Fett. Like literally every other piece of media that includes Boba Fett. They're like, guys, look, it's Boba Fett. Look, oh my god,
it's Boba Fett. Yeah, no, they were like
Boba Fett.
They were like performing. Like Boba Fett walks up and they're like, "Yo, what up, dog?" And we're not supposed to like freak out, which is like natural.
What up, Boba?
Like it's fine. I think the second episode, it's good. I enjoyed it. It's different from the other episodes in the sense that it's like there were stakes, there were death stakes, like that was intense, but it was also just like a fun thing where we're like, we're in a band, guys, like we're just playing some concerts, like we're just hanging out. Like that was really cool to me. That kind of media is super good to me.
I gotta ask, how was the music in English? Because I know sometimes English dubs tend to butcher stuff like that.
It sounded a little
English in the Japanese.
I think I need to rewatch it in Japanese because the original or in the English version it sounded a little bit too much like Blink-182 to me. They just get up in front of Jabba. Where are you? I'm sorry. No,
yeah,
it was fine.
So
it was fine.
Usually in anime, what they'll do is they actually, which not to flex my anime knowledge, but they do tend to use English songs, like they'll sing in English, because Japanese people like how we listen to anime and hearing like people speak in Japanese will not like it won't hinder us from listening to something in English. That's how it is in Japan, but vice versa. Hearing a song in English acts basically the same as a normal backing soundtrack, but it's just got vocals instead. So they did not do that here. They did that in My Hero Academia season 4, but they did not do that with Tatooine Rhapsody. They sung it in Japanese, and I think it worked. So I want to go listen to it in English and see what it sounds like, though, because I heard it was
I watched it was fine. Like, I didn't even think about that. I think I need to rewatch it in the Japanese. I watched Weathering with You in English, and all the music was Japanese, but it was already existing songs. So,
right.
I don't know.
Okay. Moving on to episode 3, the twins. I want to send you a picture of this character from. All right. Studio Trigger did the twins, but they also did Promare as a movie. Now, you can't look at this character and tell me that he does not look very similar.
No, you're right.
Brother.
They have similar. They have similar features.
That's just.
They have the same hair and like body type.
What I'm gonna call that is that's just Trigger's character design. Also, Trigger has like, and I don't want to make this sound like it's a diss, but they have like one director who directs everything, and you can very clearly tell when he's the one directing based on animation style, art style, character design, like all of this stuff. Like, not to go on a tangent, but Gurren Lagann, all of the mechs in that have very weird eye angles, and then he moved on to Kill la Kill. All of the clothes have very weird eye angles. You can see the connection there. Moving from Kill la Kill to Promare, you can see, oh, all of these facial character designs are the same. Moving from Promare to the twins, you can connect all of the dots of this direction. So,
kind of like he's kind of like Wes Anderson.
Episode, yeah. The twins, fantastic episode. Like, it's one of those where you just have to accept that none of this is canon, and you just gotta let go. You just gotta let go and enjoy it, because it's pretty crazy. He stands on the front of an X-wing upside down in space with a lightsaber and cuts a Star Destroyer in half. Like, you just gotta let it go. You just gotta let it go.
Like, if they did that in the sequel trilogy, we would have destroyed them. Like, they could not have done that in, like, a sequel trilogy. And they did something... No. We would have been like, all right, goodbye, Rian Johnson.
Okay,
but,
what are you thinking?
But no, since it wasn't canon, they could do crazy things like that, and it was fun. So, I really enjoyed it.
And you don't question
Number
it
4...
either. Like, when you know it's not canon...
You don't question it. You're like, all right, you're just like, wow, that's freaking dope. Like, no, there's no like, well, what if this character did this? Like, no, shut up. Just have fun with it. Number 4, The Village Bride. Great episode.
My fave.
Great episode. It took like a air quote damsel in distress thing and like kind of spun it in like their own way to where it was like different. So I liked it. Also, that scene where the guy takes off. This guy takes off his helmet, puts a grenade in it, tosses it down, and it goes up into the ship. That's insane. I love that so much.
The ship just explodes. Low-key, I didn't think anything was going to top the twins. Like, I watched the twins, and I was like, okay, this is my peak. Like, it peaks here. Next episode.
We're done. Thank you. Goodbye.
We're done. Done. It literally, like, Village Bride is my favorite. The way that fight at the end was handled was just so cool, because it wasn't over the top. Because see, here's the thing: traditional like samurai fights and all that were not over the top. They were just like 1 or 2 hits and you're done. Like, so having that very elegant fighting style,
beautiful,
killed it. Great,
absolutely amazing.
Also,
number 5.
I just want to say,
go ahead.
Star Wars Visions blessed us with one of the greatest things we've ever seen. And that is katana lightsabers.
Oh my gosh. Coming to a Galaxy's Edge near you.
So cool. Come on, Galaxy's Edge. Let me make my own katana lightsaber.
Number 5, The Ninth Jedi. I'm struggling. No, I remember. I remember. Honestly, I would have felt better about the series if it ended on that one. But it's fine.
Like, how do you miss that? It's got 9 in the title. Oh, yeah, we should make it episode 5.
Cut the cameras.
Trust me,
Ninth
once I'm a
Jedi's
film producer and I have control over this kind of stuff, you'll see a lot more where I put things where they should
Oh
be.
my gosh. The Ninth Jedi is really good. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. It was just like a good story, had some good twists, and I could see them making a whole movie out of it.
With Ethan?
We were making fun of it. We watched it on a Disney Plus group watch, this one, and everyone was like, had like these really intense like Star Wars or like Japanese names, and it's like, and Ethan.
It's like the tag end in a movie title, like all of these great actors, and then and Ethan.
And
He's just
Ethan. What up,
also,
Ethan?
Making generic
He's wearing cargo shorts
that can change colors based on whether like who's holding them. Very cool concept. I like that.
Daggum. Is it T0B1?
Yeah.
Okay, I said TQB1 like an idiot.
Well, if
It's
you look at
fine.
the list far enough away, the little dash can look like the line on a queue. So I understand.
Insert grandma looking at the computer meme here. No, this is my favorite. I kind of already touched on it, but it gives me almost a Wall-E vibe, but it's different where it's like more relational based, and like this, it was like really heavy into the droids that are kind of forgotten about, because in all these other ones the droids are the side characters, but this one is just like, yeah, droids can be Jedis, and I was like, that's awesome, and I was like, it had me crying. It's so good.
The Elder. Am I right, gang? Actually,
Am I
I
right?
don't have much to say about T0B1. It was a good episode.
Cool.
I think out of the two Science Seru episodes, that one was the better of the two.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Cool.
That's just me, though.
The Elder's fine, I guess. I wasn't super engaged.
Not even with Dan? Our other generic
Dan.
like, white boy Star Wars name? Even though, like, Dan's not white.
Dan wasn't white, but he shows up in cargo shorts, and he's like, "Where's the Cheesecake Factory?"
Come on, Dan. You better. Also,
Poor
more
Dan.
katana lightsabers.
I'm saying the combat was really good in this episode, but other than that, I wasn't super engaged. I also thought the Elder was really cool. I thought it was kind of a darker take that I liked, but other than that, it wasn't super special to me. Number 8, La Pinocho.
Lo Pinocho.
Lo
Ironic that
Pinocho.
Ocho is in the title.
Open Ocean.
8 in Spanish.
Number 8.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of worried about this episode because my first impression was, oh no, they've brought furries into Star Wars. How could
Yeah, no. I was a little concerned. I was like,
how could you
Bunny
let this happen?
Girl? Bunny Girl? Huh?
Bunny
What?
Girl Senpai season
What
2.
the frick?
Only real ones will get it.
Only real ones.
No, it was still really good. Like as soon as I saw the Bunny Girl, I was like, okay, we're gonna go into this with an open mind, and it will be okay. So it was okay.
But it was okay. It was a really, I think the character design was brilliant because she was so different from everyone else, and that's kind of the point, where she was different from her family, and like it's a little weird to make her a rabbit, but also like it worked. Like she was so vastly different from these other human-like characters that like it really nailed in the point of how different she felt and how badly she wanted a community and a family. And that's part of the reason why it hit me so hard, was like, oh, this is such a good character. And it was only 21 minutes. And this was like a full movie worth of story. Like, it was brilliantly told, it was brilliantly directed, and I think it has the best character design. Not just in, like, the rabbit lady, but in all the other people. It was very good visual storytelling through their characters.
Yeah, I agree. Everything I would say is exactly the same. And then I guess we've already kind of dunked on numbers.
Yeah,
it's
fine.
On that one. It's fine. Nobody cares.
Yeah, it's fine.
It was
overall,
at the end. Somebody had to take the bullet of being the last one.
I sounded like Seth Rogen there. I'm sorry.
Bro, but Seth Rogen is Donkey
Kong. Yeah. No, watch Visions. Like, I'm gonna watch it again. I said this to you, but Visions is so bingeable because the episodes are so short. A lot of them are conclusive, and a lot of them are open-ended. So it's like, oh, where are we going next? And it's like, I was excited for every next episode. I'm not a binge watcher at all. I watch every show very slowly, and I gather my opinions and my thoughts, and I make notes. This came out Wednesday, and we're recording on Saturday. I watched all these episodes. Like, it was just like I have to watch the next one. It was just like, it's so bingeable because they're so short and they're so quick and they're so concise, and it's just chef's kiss Ratatouille.
So, something I want to bring up is you're right. Most of these episodes are open-ended, and they leave room for like going back and revisiting or making into a full series or whatever. What If does this too, and What If leaves like half their episodes open-ended. And like, ooh, what's gonna happen? What are we gonna do?
What's
like,
happening?
Ooh, how are they gonna solve this? Ooh. And I'm like,
so
What If makes me frustrated when they leave open ends, because I go into it expecting you, like the Doctor Strange episode, that had a beginning, a middle, and an end. Done. The zombie episode, beginning, middle, open ended. No. You have to do beginning, middle, end, conclusion. You can leave a cliffhanger, like the twins left a cliffhanger of like, is he going to go find his sister? What's going to happen to her? But it was conclusive enough that you don't feel like you're losing something.
I don't know if this is a hot take or not. So take this with a grain of salt. Take this as you will. I think Star Wars Visions is what If thinks it is. Visions is what If wants to be. Now, let me explain. What If is a great concept. They almost have similar concept of this is in a universe, but it's completely different from what you know. This is Star Wars, but it's anime and it's different from all this other stuff you know. What If is, hey, this is Marvel, but it's animated and it's different from everything that you know. But is What If that different from what we know? It still has the base characters, it still has the base settings and like the base things. And so now I have the very hot take of I don't really like What If. That's like you get scrutinized on Twitter. But I think the episodes are too long.
On Twitter about that right now.
Hold on, whoa. Not to your 100 followers. What if the episodes are too long? They should have outsourced the episodes like they did with Visions. And like you said, a lot of them don't have conclusive endings. And I think when you have like 35-minute episodes, it needs to conclude, because I feel like I'm so invested. I'm okay with an open end on a 13-minute Star Wars episode because I'm only 13 minutes in. When you make a 35-minute episode and it's open-ended, I feel like I'm just missing out. Like, it's just like, it feels incomplete. Now, we're going to do a whole episode on What If soon, but like, those are my thoughts. I just have no motivation to continue What If, and it's so sad because like my weekly TV has been supplemented. So like when I wasn't super into What If, I'm like 2 or 3 episodes behind because Visions came out. I've been watching Only Murders in the Building weekly, which, by the way, 11 out of 10 show. It has a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Everyone needs to watch it. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Visions was what If should have been. That's my hot take for the week.
What a piping hot take. Not gonna lie, I didn't listen to half of it. I was tuned out reading Demon Slayer news on Twitter. But you've already told me this, so it's okay. I'll hear it again.
No, I've ranted about this before.
But I'm just gonna say, everything you said, totally good. Maybe you said that you want to annihilate the planet. All good. It's fine. I don't need to hear anything.
It's fine.
Just validate
Demon Slayer.
It's good.
So, what is the Demon Slayer news good? Like, how's that? Since you're so engrossed in it.
I don't know how to feel about it. I read it. It had nothing. Well, I guess it kind of works because it's anime. And we'll close after this. So apparently, so season 2 starts airing October 10th. But they're doing an anime original episode, and then the next 6 episodes, so 2 through 7. Is just adapting the movie that came out last year in Japan, and they're putting it in anime. It's just kind of frustrating because that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 weeks that I have to sit through content I've already seen, and that most people have already seen.
Oh my gosh.
Simple fix, just make the movie free. Just like Don't pay for it. Just
all right.
put it on streaming services.
Here's an interesting thought. Here's the final closing question. Would Visions have worked if it was a weekly release schedule?
No. Because the episodes are so different, you can't generate hype for each one of them individually. You have to present them as a group, especially since they're so short.
Problem. That's the problem with What If. Sorry. What If should have been released as a whole series like Visions. I'm sorry. Anyway,
I don't think the length of episodes works for What If releasing all at once though, because they're like 30-40 minute episodes. You can't just drop all of those at once. Netflix does it, but they don't really do it anymore.
Netflix does it, but they shouldn't.
Exactly.
Well, everyone put your fishing hats on. It's time to reel it in.
Get your space fishing rods to catch some kyber crystals and reel it in.
That was so funny.
Thank you for listening today. If you want to stay up to date with the podcast, you can follow us on Instagram at the Nerdiest Podcast or tweet us at Nerdiest Podcast. If you have feedback or a question you want to submit, you can do so through the Contact Us page on our website.
And if you enjoy what we do here, consider giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else you listen. I don't think you're listening anywhere else, but it's good. You can also share the podcast with friends because word of mouth is the best way for us to grow. That is so true. Tell your friends to follow on Instagram. Just listen to current episodes, past episodes, future episodes. We need the analytics boost so we can afford studio upgrades.
It's true. Again, thank you for listening, and we hope to see you in the next episode. Peace out.
Bye.